Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. For anyone new to the channel, nice to see you here with us. I post anime what if videos either never heard before, or reboot into a more clear audio. I present to you all, what if Vegito never unfused? When Goku and Vegeta are unable to unfuse after their battle with Buu, history is altered forever. Relationships are changed, battles rewritten. But how has it changed? Take a look. Vegito Harem. Read and review please. The link of the creator as well as the co-writer will be in the link down below. If you like this video and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe to see more anime what if stories. Disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. With that out of the way, let's begin this what if. Chapter 1. Okay, with all that out of the way, what's next on the agenda? Catherine asked as they walked out of the previous story world. No idea. Luna sighed, maybe we'll find a nice universe? Ghost suggested, doubt it. Gray scoffed as he opened a door, before walking inside. Okay, what's he damaged this time? Catherine asked, besides the universe I blew up? Ghost joked as he got the information on the new universe. Hey, dragonballz kinda super. Gray smiled, oh yeah, confession. I lost track of Dragon Ball since GT. And that series wasn't done right. But I caught the recent movies. Ghost admitted. I say superish as the first two arcs cover those movies. Gray nodded, but super is good. You need to watch it. Maybe skip the first 26 episodes though as those are the wreck got ya. Ghost nodded, want to start watching? Wait, what's the plot? Luna asked, getting everyone a light snack. Oh, thank you. Ghost took an apple, the fruit, not a device, and read the script. Looks like Goku and Vegeta never separated during the Buu saga. And it's going into the B movie. Well, this'll be fun. Gray laughed, let's do this. Catherine nodded with a smile. Start the story. A tall black-haired man was sleeping peacefully in a large elegant-looking bedroom. The man hummed while dreaming of something that was making him smile. He smiled happily, rolling onto his side gently so. Sleepy. He thought as he turned and dreamt, get up Vegito, it's nearly lunchtime. A strong female voice called from outside the door, disturbing the man's sleep. Lunch, the man thought and got up from his sleep. He pulled himself out from bed, quickly got some clothes on and headed out of the room. As he opened the door, light shone over his body, revealing him truly. He was a strong muscular man with spiky black hair, black eyes, and was wearing white gloves and boots with an orange shirt under a blue martial artist's gi. This was Vegito, the most powerful warrior in the universe. And he was only technically a few months old. Flashback, a few months ago Vegito smirked as he floated in the sky. He looked the same as he did in the future, only his face was sterner with a serious frown. His hair was a glowing blonde as were his EY, and his eyes a deep teal green. A raging, glowing yellow aura was blazing around him like fire. And a small detail you would miss if you were not paying attention, he was wearing earrings with small yellow orb decorations at the end. Guess you're impressed by this? Vegito spoke with a serious tone, looking at his opponent. His opponent was a tall man who looked to be made of pink bubblegum. He was wearing fancy shoes, loose baggy white pants, a belt with a golden buckle with an M on it, and upper body was what looked like Vegito was wearing, but the GI and shirt had their colors swapped around. A long, near ankle-length antenna hanging from the top of his head. White of his eyes were black, the irises being red. Ha. You look like fun, I'm gonna enjoy beating you. The bubblegum man smiled maliciously, I've been kicking your ass since I was born. Vegito scoffed, you know, you bad guys have no true pride in your fighting skills. It takes more than a good arm and keen eyesight, warrior. It's why I can kick your ass. Really? Well, what if I took both? The bubblegum man spoke and lunged at Vegito with the intent of maiming the fighter. The golden warrior didn't move. He just held his hand out and gave a small push, sending a massive burst of wind which sent the pink being flying to the ground, crashing through massive pillars stone yawn. Come on Majin Buu, give me a challenge. Vegito commented. Buu snarled. Before he grinned and laughed, a pink bubblegum-like structure springing from the rocks and wrapping around Vegito before he had a chance to react. Hey! Vegito commented. I'll break you. I'll turn you to candy and eat you. Majin Buu answered maliciously as he licked his lips. I'll make you part of me. Vegito was then encased in the link, pulled into Buu's body. Hey! Let me go! Ya stupid pink blob! Vegito shouted before being sucked in. Buu began to mold his body back to normal, although he looked the same as he did prior. He didn't realize this, however, as he stated to laugh madly inside Buu. Vegito chuckled as he held an energy barrier around himself. Finding himself in Buu's head looks like Krillin was right. Nothing inside his head. Vegito commented. He looked around, seeing the organic hell while he refused to drop the barrier. Okay, if those are the eyes, the brain cavity should be around here somewhere. Vegito thought aloud and saw some unusual cocoon-like things holding people within them. First was a black-haired teen, about 18-19. One next to him was about 10 or so, also with black hair and looked like the first's brother. The second was a purple-haired 10-year-old. There was a green-skinned man the same size as the teenager. And finally was a woman that looked like Buu. The kids, they're okay, same with Piccolo. Vegito sighed. Who's this though? He thought, examining the woman. He floated towards the woman, looking at her sleeping face. Wow, she's kinda cute. Vegito commented. What am I thinking? I'm married. He scolded himself before he blinked. Twice. I just realized how awkward this will be when I get out. He sighed, shooting blasts of yellow light from his hands, shredding bindings of the teenager's pod, making it fall to the floor harmlessly outside Buu's body. Argh. Arg. What's happening? He snarled as he felt his body being ripped apart and getting weaker. The GI and shirt melted away. In its place was a white cape that reached his ankles, the cape having a large collar and massive shoulder pads. What? Piccolo? What is going on? Buu groaned. I haven't digested. He's doing something. Buu gasped back inside Buu. It'll be okay, Gohan. Vegito nodded to the teen before he shot at the bonds around the younger children. With their bonds being destroyed, the boys slid out, being covered in a strange fluid. Black. Why does this stuff look gross? Vegito quipped. I got you boys. He held the three children inside the protective key sphere he was held within. Hold on, buddy. I've got ya. Vegito spoke as he freed Piccolo. Outside Buu. Argh. Buu roared in pain as he felt his strength being sapped away. No. I have to stop him. He thought in anger, hugging himself. See, come on, I can do this. Buu groaned inside. Buu got you out. Piccolo. Vegito spoke. He quickly cut out Piccolo from his bonds, bringing him into the bubble, before he looked at the female Majin. Sigh, why am I such a good guy? He sighed and started to attack the bonds of the female Majin, but as his key hit the ropes holding her pod, Buu's body shook wildly, howls of pain echoing. I think it's time to hurry the hell up. Vegito commented, trying to go quicker in freeing the female Buu. Do not touch that. Buu's force roared, the Super Buu emerging from the ground and charging at the Ultimate Warrior. Oh. Vegito spoke before he kicked the Super Buu in the face, trying to throw him away. He kept blasting at the female Buu, easily swatting away Super Buu. Look, Buu. 2 hands. Vegito quipped as he was cutting away at the prison and threw a back fist into Super Buu's face. Really, is that it? No. You don't know what you've done. You are destroying everything I am. Super Buu screamed in pain as his body twitched and changed, before with one blood howl of agony he was gone. Remind me not to get that guy a get well card. Vegito spoke as he got his sons, Piccolo and the female Buu, out of Buu's body. He smashed through the bubblegum-like skin, flying away as the group of 6 grew to normal size. Phew, that was weird. Vegito sighed, good thing everyone's okay. He landed, the key shield finally dissipating. He gave a sigh, taking in the fresh air as his aura disappeared and his hair and eyes became black once more. Fresh air. Hey, you guys okay? He asked, trying to wake them up. Gore. Piccolo growled gently, rubbing his eyes. Air. Trunks, the lavender-haired 10-year-old, groaned while sitting up slowly. My head. 5 more minutes, the black-haired 10-year-old whispered, not wanting to stand up. What happened? Gohan, the 19-year-old, whispered as he sat up. Long story short, Majin Buu. Vegito answered, oh, damn, I remember now. Piccolo groaned. Dad? Trunks asked in confusion as he looked at Vegito. No. That's my dad. I think? Goten blinked. Vegito laughed slightly. I'm kinda both. Fusion. Vegito answered, Dad. And Vegeta fused? Gohan blinked. Yep. Had to. In order to beat Majin Buu. Vegito answered, then what's that then? Piccolo asked, pointing to the still sleeping Majin Buu. Dunno, found her in Buu. Vegito shrugged. But if you're a fusion, why aren't you wearing that jacket thing we wear as Gotenks? Goten asked. Simple. This is permanent. Vegito admitted as he took the pot-era earrings off his ears and crushed them. What? The 3 sons asked in shock. What are you talking about? This is permanent? Piccolo asked. It is what it means. I'm stuck like this. Vegito answered, I am neither Goku nor Vegeta. I am Vegito. I am both, but neither. Whoa. The 2 younger sons gasped. Yeah. It's something, isn't it? Vegito chuckled lightly. The 2 nodded at that. Truly amazed. So what are we gonna do with her? I mean, she looks like Majin Buu. She could be trouble. Gohan spoke. As far as we know, she's innocent. We'll speak to her when she wakes up. Vegito nodded before he senses something. Looking over his shoulder, he saw the shaking body of Su changing shape. Oh no. Piccolo called out as he sensed the same power rising. W. What is that? Goten gasped. Looks like Super Buu making a comeback. Vegito answered. Piccolo, Gohan. Get the boys and female Buu out of here. But Vegito. Gohan started before correcting himself since he was confused. Gohan. Don't argue with me. I'm not risking you or the boys in a guaranteed slaughter. Vegito answered. Gohan was silent. He could help. But he was so tired as well. Son, I just got you back. I don't want to lose you again. Vegito explained. Fine. Gohan sighed, seeing his father in Vegito's eyes. Vegito nodded with reassurance. Piccolo I know, I got her. Piccolo answered and picked up female Buu. Thank you. He nodded. Super Buu's voice screamed in rage and pain as it began to materialize before them. Go. Now. Vegito called out. Dad. Goten and Trunks muttered before the 3 Scions and the 1 Namekian zooming away at high speeds. Stay safe. He whispered and then looked over his shoulder and saw the reforming Super Buu. The being looked the same. Only smaller. Did you just shrink? Vegito quipped. Rargh. The smaller Buu screamed at Vegito, causing a ripple in the air with a great force of energy. It then held its arm up, summoning a massive ball of pink and purple energy. No. Vegito shouted and flew at Buu with his fists. As the ball was thrown towards the ground. The attack strong enough to destroy Earth, Vegito quickly held his arms to his sides so his body was in a cross-like position before a crouched position. Final. Ka. Me. Ha. Me. Ha-ia. He roared, quickly thrusting his arms forward, shooting out a massive yellow/blue energy blast into the ball and started a powerful struggle. The blast was holding back the ball of destructive energy with great intensity. I can't fail, I won't fail. Vegito thought as he increased his ki blast into the Kamehameha. It wasn't too much more power, but Vegito didn't want to overpower his blast and destroy the world. The destruction blast, combined with Vegito's Kamehameha, repelled back into Kid Buu. Well, that's what he dubbed it from its size. The energy blast was soon destroyed, Kid Buu dodging the attack. Kid Buu looked at Vegito in shock before it roared wildly, pounding his chest like a gorilla. Calm down, will ya? Vegito quipped again, teleporting and then hitting Kid Buu in the stomach. The being gave out a choke of pain before it was sent flying like a rocket. Before it could catch itself or land, or crash, Vegito appeared behind the bubblegum being and grabbed back of the head before crashing it against the floor. Vegito headed back down to the crater that Kid Buu created and read the energy that was there. Kid Buu wasn't down yet. But he also saw the destruction he caused. And that was with barely any effort in his base form. He could not fight this guy here. Come on. We're going somewhere else to fight. Vegito spoke. Kid Buu roared, charging to charge and strike Vegito. Vegito grabbed him by Kid Buu's throat, bringing 2 fingers to his forehead. And then the two were gone elsewhere on Earth. Gohan, Goten, Trunks and Piccolo managed to get back to the lookout, where they were recuperating. With a still unconscious female Buu. Gohan. There's no one on Earth. I can only sense us. Goten whispered to his big brother in fear. It'll be okay, Goten. We'll find the Dragon Balls, we'll fix this. Gohan tried to calm his brother down. But it was true. He could sense his mother, his friends. Videl. He could sense 2 weak key signatures in the distance, one of which he knew was Den. Damn it all. Gohan frowned as Goten hugged his brother in fear. I guess we have the same dad now, you guys. Trunks said, hoping to change the subject to keep their minds off the fact they were all alone. Why, guess we do. Goten sniffed and hugged Trunks like a brother. Which they technically were now, which means I'm your big brother. Ha, take that, Goten. Trunks laughed teasingly with a smile. And I trump both you in big brother status. Gohan joked lightly. I'm the youngest? Goten pouted. You always were. Gohan smiled and tousled his brother's hair. Enough, you three, we need to gather back our strength. This Majin Buu here might wake up at any moment. Piccolo answered. Senzu beans. Gohan nodded, holding up a brown bag and throwing a small green bean to each of them. The 4 heroes, the last defenders of Earth, quickly ate and swallowed their beans as the Majin woman groaned and sat up. She was a slender woman with a bob-cut haircut, with the Majin tendril going backwards in accordance with the haircut. She had D-cup breasts that were held back by a white-black small sleeveless shirt, black arm guards that had yellow accents. Long, baggy, black trousers with yellow shin guards and black shoes. She had red pupils and white scare. A soft face. Oh. She mumbled. The 4 warriors got into fighting positions as the Majin girl rubbed her head and groaned as she sat up, crossing her legs. Hello. The girl spoke softly. Who are you? Gohan asked, quickly focusing on the girl's key to try and see how tough this battle would be. Majin Bei. She answered honestly. Who are you? Bei. Goten blinked. Why were you inside Majin Buu? Gohan asked. Majin Bei is Majin Buu. Or, was? Is that right? Bei tried to explain. You were Buu? What? Trunks blinked. Bei trapped in Buu. Bei not bad. She answered. Trapped? Gohan asked. Bei must have been the original Buu. Absorbing the Kais and others that Babadi wanted her to made her a prisoner in her own body and changed the body into a male's. Pick quickly worked out. Green man right. Bad man traps Bei, make Bei do bad things. She answered and finished with a frown. Before she smiled and giggled, but handsome man saved Bei. Handsome man? You mean our dad? Gohan asked. She nodded, humming happily. The boys went slack-jawed in shock. Piccolo couldn't believe it either. Majin Bei admitted that she found Vegito attractive. How were Chi-Chi and Bulma going to react to this? Oh crap. Mom and Bulma. Gohan's brain penny just dropped. What about them? Trunks asked. Dad and Vegeta are permanently fused. What are they gonna say when they see him? Gohan answered in fear. They've fused? Goten shrugged. You don't know what permanent means, do you? Gohan asked, face-palming. I do. But it's all we can tell them. Goten frowned. Sorry, bro. Gohan apologized. "Oh, you good brother." Bay spoke to them. "Thanks." Gohan blinked in shock and confusion. "Are you sure you're part of Majin Buu? You're nice." Trunks commented, "Yes, Bay is Buu. Bay is nice. You're nice." Bay answered with a smile. "Thank you." He blinked with Vegito. Vegito took himself and Buu to the world of the Supreme Kai, and the fight was brutal. If you could even call it a fight. Gah. Vegito, watch where you're fighting. You'll blow up my planet. Old Kai shouted as he and Kibito were hiding. Vegito was beating the crap out of Kid Buu. The latter tried to get some punches in, but Vegito was too fast and strong to keep up with. Vegito was even still in his base form. "Sorry." Vegito called with a grin as he jumped back. "You know, I've never tried this out before." He smiled as he widened his stance. And a massive red aura suddenly burst him as he roared, Kaioken. He roared, his muscles bulging lightly as his body was tinted from the light of his blazing red aura. Old Kai, Kibito, and Kid Buu were in shock. This great surge of energy caused a pushback of air around them as they saw Vegito's energy spike greatly. Vegito then twisted his body. His hands cupping with his right hand, twisting 180 so both palms were facing away from him with the back of his left hand near his ear. Purple ink began to gather around his hands, purple ki sparking around his red aura. Gallic gun. He changed as the power sparked and grew. Hugha? Buu asked in random noise before he shot a massive purple blast of ki. Vegito grinned and disappeared, reappearing right in front of Buu. Fire. He roared, launching his new warp Kaioken Gallic gun into Buu's face. Argh. Kid Buu shouted as he was being obliterated by that full force of power. Vegito gave a deep sigh, releasing the Kaioken. Before Buu reformed. "Well, looks like you're like Cell. Need to get rid of every last cell." Vegito sighed, looking at the slowly growing and wiggling ball of pink gunk. "What should I do to take you down?" "Vegito, what are you doing? You need to destroy Majin Buu, now." Old Kai shouted, "Nah, I'm fine." Vegito waved him. "A Kamehameha? The Big Bang attack? Final Flash? Some new technique? Super Saiyan? Level 2? Level 3 is definitely overkill." He hemmed to himself, seemingly uncaring. "Are you serious now, Vegito?" The two Kais snapped at him. "You're debating on what to kill him with." "Of course. Yes, this Buu is fast and with a lot of ki, but he is weaker than Super Buu's base form." Vegito shrugged. "He's not much." "Well, we should be grateful that Goku's personality is in charge." Kibito answered to Old Kai. "Goku would be drawing this battle out for fun." Old Kai shook his head. "So it's both Goku and Vegeta? Well, at least it's not the worst thing that can happen." "Why did I say that?" Kibito responded and immediately chastised himself. "Rarg!" Kid Buu roared as it managed to reconfigure itself. Vegito hummed, taping his chin. "Got it." He grinned, clicking his fingers. Kid Buu flew straight to Vegito in a blind rage, trying to kill the fused Saiyan. Vegito held his hand forward, ki charging in his single hand while he grasped his wrist tightly with the other hand. "Dragon shot." He called as he shot a beam of ki from his hand, forming a dragon and enveloping Buu. Argh. Buu shouted as his head and body were evaporating before them. Tch. Still some left. Vegito scoffed. Half of Buu's body remained. The remains were twitching, not growing back yet, but they remained. Vegito smirked, getting into the Fama Kamehameha pose, but there was something different. Between his hands was a gathering of blue and yellow ki. "What the heck? Is that Goku and Vegeta's ki?" Kibito asked. "Don't be stupid." Old Kai scoffed, hitting his head. "Vegito's ki is Goku and Vegeta's ki. No. He is combining the Kamehameha with the final flash and a small hint of Gu bomb. I hope you like this." Vegito called, in his hand a swirling orb of yellow and blue ki sparking. "Ka. Me. Ha. Me." As he ended the attack call, he thrust forwards and shot a massive wave of blue and yellow ki which hit Buu and made him disappear in a second. As the energy blast calmed down, Vegito panted lightly as his attack ceased. Kid Buu was gone. He was not panting because he was tired. However, he just screamed too much phew, that was great. Vegito smiled. And kinda easy. He sighed sadly. Easy? The Kai shouted, just be glad Majin Buu is gone. Old Kai smacked the fused hero around the head. Yeah, I guess. Vegito sighed sadly, acting as if he hadn't felt the impact. Guess I'll grab Den so we can use the Namekian Dragon Ball to wish everyone back. He added before disappeared. He reappeared in Earth in a random canyon, a smaller younger member of Piccolo's race and a man in a dark red GI with a large championship belt and large afro hiding behind rocks. Hey guys. He waved, walking over. Goku? Den asked in shock. Is it really you? Gah! Goku, the Afro man shouted. Hiding behind Den. Kinda. It's actually Vegito now. Said Saiyan. Answered I. Of course. Den nodded, remembering the fusion the Namekian Dragon Balls, I guess? Of course we need to bring everyone back. Den answered with a smile and a nod. Sweet. Vegito smiled, putting his hand on Den's shoulder, and the two disappeared, leaving Hercule alone. Hey. What about me? I can't do what you can do. Hercule called out on Namek. Your power's off the charts, Vegito. Den commented, well, that's what happens when you mix Goku and Vegeta. Vegito shrugged, the two appearing in the main village of New Namek. We better get the Dragon Balls. Hi everyone. Den spoke. We have them prepared in case they were needed. Den. I have sent a few warriors to retrieve them, as I am sure this is not a social call. Elder Namek, more, greeted with it's not. But it's good to see you again. Den bowed. More nodded, patting his child on the shoulder as several Namekian warriors walked over carrying the massive Dragon Ball. Thanks everyone. Vegito spoke. Okay, let's summon the dragon. Den smiled. He walked towards the Dragon Balls and helps out his hands, calling arise. Parunga. The Dragon Balls began to glow, a massive light emerging from the magic spheres and shooting into the sky before the light began to die down and take form, revealing a Drago who calls Parunga. The dragon spoke. It was humanoid with long tail that stretched into the Dragon Balls. Those who have summoned the dragon Parunga are granted 3W. State your wishes. Hi Parunga. Our first wishes, we wish for everyone who was killed by Majin Buu to be brought back to life. Vegito spoke, waving to the dragon. The dragon's eyes flashed quickly. It is done. It said in a deep voice. Great. Vegito smiled. 2 more wishes. He pondered. I wish everyone but Gohan's family and friends forget about Super Saiyan and Gohan's identity as the Great Saiyaman. He decided to ask. Parunga's eyes glowed again. It is done. What is your final wish? I wish for you to split Vegito back into Goku and Vegeta. Den said, smiling at Vegito as a sign to try and help. Parunga was silent, his eyes glowing, and when the glow left his eyes he said, that is beyond my power. This shocked everyone there. Oh, out of your power? Den asked. Looks like I am stuck like this. Vegito sighed. This new being, Vegito, is stronger than my power. Parunga nodded. That's worrying. More commented. Hey. Vegito groaned lightly. I am sorry. Parunga apologized. So? What should be this wish? Vegito frowned. That was when Vegito's stomach growled loudly. Seriously, Vegito? Right now? Den asked. Unlimited food? Vegito thought aloud. Your appetite is beyond my power. Parunga frowned. Oh, come on. Vegito anime dropped him. How about this? Vegito sighed. Okay then. I wish that Namek will be protected from evil. Vegito. Den gasped in happiness. That is within my power. Parunga nodded and did so. Although, there are those with power beyond mine. Can I extend the wish to Den, getting some form of message when someone beyond your power tried to attack? Vegito asked. You're pushing it. But yes. Parunga sweat dropped, but nodded. Thank you. Vegito nodded with a smile. With your wishes fulfilled, I will leave. Parunga spoke as he returned back to the Namekian Dragon Balls. The balls quickly turned to stone and fell to the floor, lifeless for the next 4 months. Thank you for that addition to the last wish, Vegito. Den smiled couldn't think of anything better. He shrugged. We should head back. Chi. Bulma and the others will be waiting for us. Vegito spoke. Yes, your wives. Den lightly teased as Vegito out his hand on Den's shoulder and wrapped them both back to Earth. On the lookout. Back on the lookout. The skies began to shine brighter as life returned back to Earth. All over the world people were returning to life, laying on the floor and slowly standing up thinking they had just fallen asleep. Somehow many people returned on the lookout specifically as well. Shishi, Bulma, Tien, Krillin, Android 18, Krillin and 18's daughter Marin, Yamcha, Chaozu and Videl. The 9 joining Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, and Bayo, Man. Tien groaned. Mom. Goten and Trunks went to their respective mothers. Videl. Gohan went to his girlfriend. Gohan? The black-haired girl gasped as she was suddenly hugged. Did we die? Yes, but you're back. You're back. Gohan hugged her tightly and held back his tears. So, Goku defeated Buu? Shishi smiled. How do you know it wasn't Vegeta? Bulma shot back. Chi had short black hair tied into a bun but with 2 tails going over her ears. She was wearing a dark blue dress with pink accents, covering her C-cup breasts and pink white trousers and pink boots. Bulma had turquoise hair that only went down to her neck. She had a yellow neckerchief, a red sleeveless dress that covered her own C-cup breasts and a pair of light brown bow. Krillin was hugging his wife. Android 18 and daughter, Marin, graciously and with tears. Glad that his own family was back with him. Krillin was a shorter man, but not overly short. He had a red shirt, brown pants, and boots. He had thick long black hair, although it didn't cover his forehead which had 6 style spots. 18 was a beautiful blonde-haired woman who looked borderline adulthood with chin-length blonde hair and all but glowing blue eyes. She was dressed in a black shirt with wet black strip sleeves which concealed her D-cup breast, tight blue jeans and some simple shoes. Marin looked like a young female Krillin with long blonde hair wearing a red dress. Mama, Dada. Marin cried happily, hugging her parents. I can't believe that happened. 18 whispered. You know, we should probably tell you about something important. Piccolo said, getting everyone's attention. What is, crap? Yamcha shouted. Majin Buu? Bay. The Majin girl pouted. Bay? The group asked. Yeah, she is the real Majin Buu. Piccolo answered, but that's not what I want to talk about. And that was when Vegito and Den appeared out of nowhere. Hey! Vegito waved. Everyone was shocked at Vegito, but those that could sense ki that didn't know him yet were floored with the immense feeling of his ki. This power can't be possible. Krillin muttered in fear. Incredible. 18 whispered. G. Gohan? Videl whispered in fear. She was not that good with ki, but even now she could just feel the power. It's okay. It's just Dad. Gohan answered. That's your dad? Videl gasped. Mine too. Trunks added. Trunks, what are you saying? Bulma asked. He's saying that this person is Goku and Vegeta. He is their fused form. Piccolo interrupted with a clear answer. Their permanent fused form. I am Vegito. The fused warrior nodded to his shocked friends and family. You're what? Bulma and Chi screamed. I'm Goku and Vegeta, permanently fused as one. I am Vegito. He nodded sadly. We tried to use the Namekian dragonballz, but I am apparently too strong to undo the fusio. Sorry, Bulma. She. It was the only way to defeat Majin Buu. This is going to be a nightmare. Chi sighed. Vegito sighed as he walked towards the 2 before turning to the others. We need to talk for a bit, he said before he out his hands on their shoulders and the 3 disappear. I just hope they understand. Gohan sighed. Where Vegito, Chi and Bulma are, the 3 reappeared in a mountain range, somewhere the 3 had never been. It's freezing here. Chi called out. What the heck, Vegito? Bulma added. We need to talk. Vegito talked, and you both know this. Yeah, we know. Chi frowned and looked at her husband. Was that the right word? Look. They were both sorry. This was the only way. Vegito muttered. I guess it's gonna be a hell of a time figuring stuff out. Bulma sighed. I am them. Both of them. I have their love for you. I am everything they were. Vegito encouraged suddenly, grasping their hands. Why you still love us? Chi-Chi gave a blushing smile. Yeah. That'll never change. Vegito reassured them with a nod. I love both of you as your husbands. I love you both equally and completely. I want us to find a way to make this work. Well, you are both our husbands, and we are married to you, I guess, yeah. I can give it a go. Bulma answered. Chi-Chi was silent, looking down as she thought. Chi-Chi? Say something. Vegito asked kindly. It's been 7 years without my husband. I want him back. She cried gently, hugging him quickly. Chi-Chi, I'm home now, don't cry. Vegito smiled, hugging her with a smile. Don't cry. End flashback. Vegito smiled as he entered the main family room of Capsule Corp, which was a giant living room as well as kitchen and dining room. It took some convincing from both Bulma and Vegito, but eventually Chi-Chi agreed to move into Capsule Corp with Gohan and Goten. Vegito still loved Goku's old home where he grew up with Grandpa Gohan, but he knew that life for his children and overall family would be best suited to live in Capsule Corp. Morning. Vegito. The voice spoke. It was Chi-Chi wearing her dress and having an apron on. Took you long enough to wake up? Bulma chuckled, having a drink of coffee. She was in a knee-length sleeveless yellow dress with a good necklace. Yeah, well, long day. Speaking of. Vegito smiled and brought his two wives in close, giving them both kisses. Sorry. Goten and Trunks quickly apologized. It's okay. They take after their old man. Vegito laughed. Wait outside. I'll be with you soon. Thanks, Dad. Both grinned, hugging him before running off. Where is Gohan? He'll be late for school? Chi-Chi huffed. Honey, can you go wake him up please? Of course, my princess. He teased, kissing her before he went upstairs. One thing that had changed since he was born was that the double-layered voice fusions normally had disappeared, and now he had just one solid voice that was perfectly between Goku and Vegeta's voices. Vegito went to Gohan's room and saw that his son was sleeping on his desk with a bunch of books as a pillow. He chuckled, walking over and shaking his son's shoulder. And no, Mom, I did my homework. Gohan mumbled. That made Vegito grin evilly before he said, Gohan, get up. Videl is waiting downstairs, naked, covered in whipped cream. And before you could say Dragon Balls, Gohan was downstairs and dressed. Works every time. Vegito grinned, instant transmissioning down there. Where's Videl? Gohan asked with a blush. Breakfast, son? Chi-Chi asked. Yes, ma'am. Gohan grumbled, realizing he'd been tricked as he sat down. Good boy. I hope you've been doing your homework. Chi-Chi asked. Yes, ma'am. Gohan answered as his father came down. Now calm down, Chi-Chi, he does need time to train too. Plus he is almost as smart as Bulma, studying is just wasting time. Vegito commented, and before Chi-Chi could say any, Vegito put his hand on Gohan's shoulder. Son, you are not a child anymore. You are old enough to make your own choices. I know you're smarter than needed for your school. To me, do what you want. You want to be an accountant? A teacher? A doctor? A dentist? It is your choice. I just ask you to try and keep up your training. I know you do not end fighting, but you also know that we have to in order to protect the world. I just ask you train, even lightly, while doing whatever you want. Chi-Chi, Bulma and Gohan looked up at him and with mouths wide open. Who are you and what have you done to my father? Gohan laughed. Goku always wanted to tell you that, but with everything that kept happening, all those crises, how he kept dying or being forced away, plus with him being bad with words, he didn't have time or know how to tell you. Vegito frowned. Thanks, Dad. Gohan smiled and understood. Vegito nodded, patting his shoulder. Well, gulp, I better get going. Videl and I have study period together. Gohan spoke, downing his breakfast in one go. This is great. Vegito smiled. Glad you like it. Chi-Chi responded. That was nice. What you said to Gohan? Chi-Chi smiled. It was the truth, and you were right. Gohan, Goten and Trunks need a better start in life than I did. Vegito answered. Even if I was only born a few weeks ago, he thought, see you're brilliant, Vegito, just brilliant. Chi-Chi chuckled thanks. Vegito nodded, finishing while I got two 7/8-year-olds to deal with. He smiled, oh, just one thing left. Chi-Chi spoke, what's that? Vegito asked, only to be kissed passionately by his wife. Hey, what about me? Bulma pouted, I've got room. Vegito smiled as he pulled back Bulma's red-painted lips spread into a wide grin. Pulling him into a kiss. My family life, it's going well. Vegito thought happily. Chapter 2, Goten and Trunks were currently having a quick spar outside in the field. They knew if they fought in the garden there'd be words. And if they fought in the radish fields, they'd to pull out the radishes instead. Hey kids, how about we go to the gravity chamber? Vegito smiled as he walked towards them. Okay, the two smiled now, we're going easy with it to start with. Your mothers would kill me if we started off with high gravity. Vegito answered. The two nodded, following him inside the spaceship. Whoa, Mom did a lot of improvements here. Trunks commented that she did. Okay, I think, yeah. I think twice Earth's gravity. Vegito spoke. So, you two gonna fuse? He asked. Knowing that they'd want to go all out. Alright. Goten nodded. Ready? Trunks asked his stepbrother, give me a sec. Goten answered, then leaped into the right position. Ready. Fu-woo-woo. Shaun. Ha! The two called, performing a small dance before they were enveloped by light. The two boys merged in the light and revealed a strong boy with purple-black hair, baggy white trousers like Majin Buu, but a blue vest with golden protrusions. Oh yeah. Godai, the boy spoke, his voice sounding the combined voice of both Goten and Trunks. Come on Gotenks, you staying base or gonna kick it up? Vegito asked, crossing his arms. Ha. You'd think that, wouldn't you, Dad? Gotenks smiled and then went Super Saiyan. That all you can do? Vegito smirked, staying base form. In the blink of an eye he was in front of Gotenks and kicked him away. Oof. Gotenks grunted as he was flung into the floor. Oh okay, that was a good one. Come on, aren't you even gonna make this harder? Vegito scoffed with a smirk. Come on. Go all out. Fine. Arg. Gotenks powered up to Super Saiyan 3. Okay. This is my max. Vegito nodded with a smirk before a golden aura burst around him, simply turning into the first level of Super Saiyan. Gotenks felt the immense power radiating off his father. It was like a sun. The whole power felt like the aura of a Super Saiyan 3, or even stronger. You won't get stronger if you don't challenge yourself. Vegito replied, charging. Okay. Let's go. Gotenks smiled and flew in for a punch at Vegito. At Gohan's school, Gohan arrived at school happy, glad he lived so close now. Man. I wonder if I can see Videl early. He wondered with a smile. Hey Gohan. A bubbly female voice cheered from behind him. Huh? Oh, hey Erasa. Gohan turned around and smiled, seeing his girlfriend's best friend Erasa had short blonde hair, blue eyes, a kind smiling face and slender body. She was wearing a green tank top that covered her B/C-cup breasts and long purple trousers. And I haven't seen you since the tournament. She smiled. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. How are things? Gohan responded. Good. She smiled. Hugging his arm. Come on, we need to get to class. Hey. Gohan commented as he was being arm hugged by Erasa. What? We're gonna be late and you take your time. She smiled, the two entering their class/lecture room. Okay. He blushed. Oh man, I hope Videl isn't going to kill me. The two reached their seat. Videl already there. You two took your time. She frowned. Sorry, up late studying. Gohan explained. Of course. Videl rolled her eyes as Gohan sat on her right and Erasa sat on her left. Oh man. He thought as their lecture began. Especially since he had known this subject inside and out since he was 9. Elsewhere, Majin Buu was looking to the sky wishfully as she sat in Hercule's home. Huh? Bae? Are you alright? Hercule asked as Bae was sitting with B, her dog. Thinking of handsome man. She smiled. Handsome man? Hercule asked. Couldn't be me. I didn't see her until after she was all dreamy. He thought, then asked again. Who is he and what does he look like? Handsome man is handsome man. He's muscly with large silly hair and dressed in blue and orange. She giggled. Oh wait, Vegito, right? Hercule thought. He's your handsome man? B sighed and nodded happily. Bae's dog, yipped happily and made her rub his head. She giggled, smiling. It's been a while since we've seen him, why don't you give him a call? Hercule suggested. Really? She gasped happily. Well, yeah. Just use the phone first before you appear. It'll give them a heads up. Hercule answered. Bae grinned, running out air. Bae. Hercule called out. Sigh, I better call Bulma and Chi-Chi, with said women the two. Now sister wives. Were chatting as they ate some biscuits and had some tea. I've got to admit, it's nice, relaxing here. Chi-Chi smiled. Yeah. Bulma nodded with a grin, just asking, the radishes, what's that all about? Oh, that was Vegito's idea. Since he knew his stomach would bankrupt us, he's using our old home as a large farm. Helps pay the bills. Chi-Chi answered, that's a good idea. Bulma pointed out before she smiled, must be the Vegeta in him. Must be, though the pursuit of training must be Goku's. Chi-Chi giggled, making them both laugh happily. That was when the phone rang. Hello, Brief's residence. Bulma answered. Hey there Bulma, just a heads up, Bae's coming your way to see Vegito. Hercule's voice spoke through. Wah! She started, Bae appearing from nowhere. Hi. Majin Bae smiled and waved, while sounding like another pink alien. Gah! The wives yelled, jumping back. I guess she's already there, I told her to call ahead of time. Hercule explained. Hercule said he would. She pouted. I said you should. Sorry Bulma, Chi-Chi, Hercule snapped, then quickly apologized and then hung up. Bae. The two looked at her and then sighed. The situation had been explained to them at least a dozen times, but they still get shocked by it. Bae smiled and began to run around, looking for Vegito. He's not, Bae. Chi-Chi tried to get the pink woman's attention, then shouted, grabbing Bae's attention. Huh? Majin Bae stopped and stood still. If you're looking for Vegito, he's training with Goten and Trunks. You do not have the right to come here and run around like a headless chicken. Chi-Chi answered. Bae just blinked before she smiled and flew out the window. Chi-Chi groaned at that. Nice try, Chi-Chi, but she's like a child. We'll have to take charge together. Bulma answered. We have to be strict. Chi-Chi grinned. Pulling a paddle out of nowhere. Okay, 3 things. 1. I like how you think. 2. Let's discuss this over a massage. Bulma smiled. Ooh. Massage. Chi-Chi smiled. Wait, what's the 3rd thing? 3rd? 3rd is obvious, can you teach me to pull stuff from nowhere? Bulma answered with Vegito and the boys. Gotenks panted as he wobbled, Vegito standing unharmed. Oh, boy. Gotenks fell over and defused to Goten and Trunks. You lasted a bit longer than I thought. Vegito spoke. Heck, you nearly made me sweat. Vegito smirked, the golden aura fading. Can we? Trunks panted, go outside now. Goten added, of course. Your daily training's done. He nodded. Thanks, Dad. The boys sighed and fell to sleep as the gravity augmentation was turned off and Vegito took the kids outside. And then a pink streak tackled him. Oof. Ha? Majin Bae? Vegito asked as he was only slightly winded. Hi. She answered in a silly voice again. Handsome man. She giggled. Hey Bae. I didn't know you were coming over. Vegito chuckled. Bae missed handsome man. You missed me? Vegito asked. Well, I don't know what to say to that. Bae grinned and just kept hugging him. Hey Bae. Trunks sighed, waving. Hi Majin Bae. Goten added. Hi strong kid. Which one is she talking about? Goten whispered to Trunks. Both. Remember Gotenks? Trunks whispered back. Alright, sorry, heavy gravity makes me forget. Goten chuckled. Trunks rolled his eyes, the two heading out. Bye-bye, strong boy. Bay waved as she still hugged Vegito. Why are you hugging me? Vegito blinked cause Bay missed handsome man. Bay answered. Why? Cause Bay likes handsome man. Bay blushed. I'm sorry, what was that? Vegito blinked in shock. Bay blushed. Bay likes handsome man. All Vegito could do is stand there and blink. Does handsome man like Bay? Bay asked kindly. That's a difficult question to answer, Bay. Vegito got out after a few seconds, but Bay likes handsome man. Handsome man saved Bay from bad Buu. Bay answered, I know, but I don't know you well, we haven't known each other long and… Well, I am married. Vegito said, putting his hands in her upper arms. Bay don't mind. Baby girlfriend, Bay answered, thinking. Vegito blinked at that. What wrong? Bay say something wrong? Bay asked, tilting her head. No, but you're cute. He chuckled. Yay. Bay is cute. Majin Buu smiled happily before she started hugging him happily, rubbing her face into his chest as she cheered happily with pure glee. Handsome man strong. Have hard body. She smiled as she motorboating his stomach. Vegito blinked, rubbing his neck weakly. So hard and strong. Bay smiled, looking up at him. Thank you? Can Bay be handsome man's girlfriend now? Bay asked. We need to ask my wives. He flinched. Oh. Bay frowned and still hugged him. Okay, he blinked. Okay. Bay and handsome man ask handsome man's wives. Bay nodded. Good. He chuckled with Chi-Chi and Bulma. Oh, so good. Chi-Chi smiled as she was getting a back massage from the masseuse. This is the life. Bulma, this is great. Chi-Chi smiled. I know. Bulma smiled. When did you get the spa? Chi-Chi wondered. Shortly after Cell had to get something to relax. Bulma answered, wish I'd known, I would have asked if I could join you. Chi-Chi smiled. Well, you're welcome here anytime. Oh, wow. Bulma responded as she felt her back crack. That was when Vegito ided in with Bay. Hi girls. Vegito smiled. The masseuses screamed and ran him. Vegito. Bulma frowned as their spa day was cut short. But she then moaned as he rubbed her back, massaging her back with one hand while the other massaged Chi-Chi's HMM. Oh, right there, that's the spot. Chi-Chi melted from the combination of strong hands and precise pressure on location. Plus a tiny drop of Ki-U, that looks good. Bay commented. It is? Bulma moaned lightly. Glad you both like it. Vegito smiled now. Why we're here? Vegito said, not stopping him. What is it? Chi-Chi asked. It's about Bay, she's got something to ask you. Vegito answered. Bay wants to be handsome man's girlfriend. Bay smiled. WH at? Bulma snapped. Before Vegito pressed on a knot and released it, giving her a pleasure point. She wants to join us. Vegito sighed. Wants to join. Chi-Chi moaned, feeling her shared husband's hands on her back. Yes. Bar cheered. I dunno, what do you think, Bulma? Chi-Chi asked. Could be fun. Really? Ready to share him with others already? Chi-Chi asked. Why not? He's man enough. Bulma giggled. We have nowhere near enough stamina to keep up with him even together. We just can't. True, and with Bay, she can be helpful. Chi-Chi added with a smile. I guess that's true. Bulma laughed. So, can Bay stay? Said girl asked. Yes, Bay can. Bulma and Chi-Chi giggled. Yay. Bay can stay. Bay will be good girlfriend. Bay smiled happily. She then hugged Vegito. Giggling happily, but Vegito didn't move, he still had his hands on Bulma's and Chi-Chi's backs. She smiled, kissing Vegito happily. I hope she isn't getting too excited. Chi-Chi commented. Why not? This massage is making me ready. Bulma grinned. So, now? Chi-Chi asked. Why not? Bulma purred. Vegito wasn't paying attention, however. He was enjoying the taste and feel of Bei's lips as he kissed her handsome man. Taste good. Majin Buu smiled happily, blushing. Thanks. He blinked. You do too. Thank you. Bei smiled. Bei then looked at Bulma and Shishi with smiles. Do you know what to do next? Chi-Chi asked. There's more? Bei asked. Oh, much more. Bulma smiled as they both got up slowly. Vegito looked down. Seeing his wives get off the massage tables. More to teach, Bei? Bei asked, tilting her head. Oh yes, there's a lot to teach you. Chi-Chi smiled. And you will love it. Bulma nodded. Bei will? Bei asked hopefully. Oh yes. Chi-Chi nodded. But first, we need to get ready. She smiled seductively and sneakily. Ready? Yeah, first, we need to get naked. Bulma smiled. Oh man. Vegito thought but smiled lightly, thinking of his two wives being naked, and he didn't have to imagine long. The girls soon got naked, Bulma and Shishi helping Bei strip. Oh, Bei not been this before. Bei commented. Naked? Shishi asked, pulling Bei's shirt off. No. Never. Always had some clothes on. Bei blushed as she had her C-cup breasts exposed to the three of them. Bulma smiled, kissing and taking Bei's nipple into her mouth and sucking. This is nice. Bei moaned lightly. Chi-Chi, why don't you get the other? Vegito suggested. In a second. Shishi smiled, pulling Bei's baggy pants down. Ryu, down there? Bei panted as Bulma continued to tease Bei's nipples. Shishi smiled, kissing up the bubblegum like quivering pink thighs of Bei towards her pussy. Miss. Bei's legs. Bei's thingy. She moaned, feeling Chi-Chi's and Bulma's teasing cultivate a large amount of pleasure. Wow. Vegito blinked, surprised. Chi-Chi teased as she continued. A bit. Good. Chi-Chi smiled and continued. You can help, show her what she's getting herself into. Bulma smiled. Vegito nodded with a small smile. Handsome man. What will you do? Bei moaned. Vegito replied by simply taking his clothes off. Handsome man. Bei's eyes widened as she blushed and moaned. Vegito, can you say that? He teased as he was stripping off his trousers. Vegito. She mumbled out. That's right. He smiled as he groped her ass. This is soft, really soft. He smiled. I still can't believe this monster. Bulma grinned, gabbing Vegito's cock. Vegeta was thick as fuck, but not that long. And Goku was the opposite. Shishi added very long, but not as thick. But this is both together and more. Bulma finished. Glad you like. Vegito smiled happily. See this, Bei? This will go inside you. Bei absorbs it? She asked in confusion. No. Not like that. Vegito smiled. Shall I? He asked. Start teasing her. Chi-Chi winked. Teasing her? Vegito asked. Yeah, start rubbing. Chi-Chi answered as she positioned his cock between Bei's legs and began to suck him off as he started rubbing her. I see. Vegito nodded, groaning a bit as he began to thrust between Bei's head so his cock was rubbing her pussy. Bei feels funny. Bei moaned heavily, but in the good way? Bulma asked. Why yes. Bei feels good funny. Bei moaned happily as she felt her pussy was stimulated by Vegito's cock and Chi-Chi's lips kissing her clit. She tastes good. Shishi giggled, licking up some of the juices that dribbled over Vegito's cock. Bei feels funny. Bei's waist feels funny. Bei moaned. You gonna come already? Bulma asked. See come? What is come? Bei moaned. When you. Bulma started before Bei moaned loudly as juices sprayed from her pussy. That. Bei panted happily as she saw her pussy juice on Vegito's cock and on Chi-Chi's lips. Bei felt good. She panted. Do you want to feel better? Chi-Chi asked as she was licking off Bei's pussy juice from Vegito's cock. I can feel better? She gasped. Damn Chi-Chi. Vegito moaned at her tongue. How's it taste, Chi-Chi? Bulma asked. Taste for yourself. She answered and kissed Bulma, transferring the juice on her tongue into Bulma's mouth while she was still rubbing Vegito's cock. Bulma moaned, kissing back happily. Does Bae taste good? Bae moaned, feeling her pussy being stimulated by Vegito's member most defiantly. Bulma nodded. Time for you to taste him. Chi-Chi smiled as she guided Vegito's cock to her pussy lips. Go on, honey. She urged, Vegito nodding and pushing inside. Bae got it. Careful, this only hurts for a little while. Vegito whispered to the immortal pink woman, and with a single thrust, he felt his entire cock go into Majin Buu's pussy. His Shein girth made her come again. Bae moaned, rocking against him. Coming from just me sticking it in. You've got some training to do, Bae. Vegito moaned. No hymen? Ha! Shishi shrugged. Bae, D doesn't know what hymen is. She moaned as she felt Vegito's cock deep within her. It's fine. He smiled, thrusting in and out as fast as he could. Bae feels good. Bae feels good. She moaned happily as she was being held up by Vegito. She's really submissive. Chi-Chi blushed. Yeah. Bulma grinned. You go for the boobs, I go for her clit? Bulma suggested. Only fair. Chi-Chi smiled. The two nodded, kissing quickly, before they went to work. Bae feels good. Bae feels better than good. She moaned happily as she felt her pink clit and nipples being kissed and licked by the two heads of the harem. Bae, you're nice and tight. Vegito smiled happily. Bae, going to come. Bae going to come, again. She moaned, feeling her eyes roll back into her head. She shuddered deeply, coming around his cock. I haven't even come yet. Vegito frowned slightly. Where? Can I come? He asked as he thrust in deep with each word. Anywhere. Bae said ignorantly. Okay. Vegito moaned as he came within Majin Buu's pussy. There was so much it even leaked out and caught Bulma on her face. Gah! Warn a girl next time. She flinched. Sorry, Bulma. Bae was too tight. Vegito's sweat dropped. Bae tight. She smiled happily, not knowing fully what it meant. Do you want some now? Vegito smiled to Bulma. You know I do. She smiled. You better have enough for me. Chi-Chi teased. I will. Vegito smiled as he pulled out of Bae, making her moan as she felt her insides being stimulated by his cock. Bae feel empty. She muttered as Vegito set her in the bed, the ultimate warrior turning to Bulma with a grin. What position is you want? How about? Bulma smiled as she lay face down on the bed. Fuck my pussy, while my tits rub the bed. Your favorite. Vegito smiled, grasping her hips as he entered her Oh God. Alright there. She moaned happily. You spread my pussy so good. As wide as I love, but even deeper. She moaned, her tongue hanging out weakly. I don't want to break you early. He chuckled as he thrust. I bet, if I lift you up, you could feel or see my cock in your stomach. Both. She moaned. But. Don't you dare. You're hitting all the right spots. Fucking me just like this. I'm glad you love this. He smiled and leaned in and kissed her as his cock came in closer. All the while Vegito was fucking his first wife, Chi-Chi was pleasuring herself to the sight, eagerly awaiting her turn to have their husband's cock. Bae was staring at both Vegito fucking Bulma and Chi-Chi pleasing herself in amazement. Is that what Bae looks like, being with Vegito? She thought and mimicked Chi-Chi. Is this right? She suddenly asked the mother of two. Bae. What are you trying to do? Chi-Chi looked at the former destroyer of the universe. Doing what you were doing. Bae answered. Is this right? Close. Chi-Chi chuckled gently, correcting her lightly. Be better. Much better. Bae moaned happily. I am coming, Bulma. Vegito moaned. Fill my cunt. Give me a baby. She moaned. Vegito moaned as he filled her pussy with his scion seed, giving her a slightly bloated pussy. Oh yes. Bulma moaned. I'm gonna pull out now, slowly. He whispered into her ear. Keep it all in. She mumbled with a smile, "That's what I'm aiming to do." He kissed her, slowly pulling out while trying to keep his cum in her pussy. He smiled, his cock pulling out with a pop. "I'm in nirvana." She purred chi-chi. "Want to have your turn?" he asked kindly, with his still hard cock. "Of course." She smiled, "Great, which position do you want?" he asked as he examined his wife's sensual body on top of you. She smiled, "Okay." Vegito smiled as he went over to the bed and saw his wife crawl over him and then lower herself onto his massive member. She moaned lightly, "You don't have to force yourself, take as much as you can." Vegito smiled as he felt his wife's moist hole. "I don't want to hurt you, my princess," he whispered lovingly into him. I know you won't, I can take it." She moaned happily. Vegito nodded, hands on her hips, before he forced his entire length inside her. Chi-Chi's eyes rolled back into her head. Feeling her husband's cock inside her pussy, there was even a small bulge in her stomach for where his cockhead was. "You okay?" Vegito asked as he undid her hairpin, letting her hair hang free. It's so deep." She moaned happily. "Fuck me, Vegito." She panted as she moved slowly on his cock. "You look beautiful with your hair down." He smiled, kissing her as he began to bounce her on his lap. V Vegito. She moaned happily as she kissed her shared husband happily, her hair getting wet with passionate sweat. "Getting close?" he teased, rubbing her hips and breasts. "Yes. I'm coming. I'm coming." She moaned happily. Vegito smiled, watching her face as she came. Chi-Chi. Vegito smiled as he came into his wife's pussy, filling it with his seed. Vegito. She purred / moaned gently, falling against his chest. "I gotcha." He smiled and lay her gently on the bed. "I hope this one's a girl." She joked tiredly, "I hope so too." Vegito kissed her gently as she fell to sleep. That left Bae awake, who was still masturbating with a smile. And also clearly not knowing when she was supposed to stop. "You're still going?" Vegito asked with a small smile. "Is Bae not supposed to? If you're tired, you can stop." Vegito answered simply and knelt down to her eye level. Bae smiled, kissing him again. "You want another round?" Vegito asked gently. "Another?" "Yeah, we can if you want." Vegito nodded. "Please, handsome man." She giggled, reverting to the name by accident. Vegito smiled. "Well, since you asked so nicely." He positioned himself over her dripping pussy and rubbed against the moist lips before he kissed her and entered slowly. They moaned deeply, her back arching while her legs wrapped all around him. "You're tight again." He smiled as he felt her pussy tighten around his cock. Bae tight. She gasped, moaning. "Man, I could fuck you forever, couldn't I?" he asked as he pulsed within her. "Forever." "Forever." She nodded with a moan, coming. Bae. Vegito moaned as he reached her womb and came inside her. While he thought it was her womb. Bae, so full. Majin Buu panted happily and had her tongue hanging out. "You had enough?" Vegito asked, panting slightly but still clearly having a lot of energy left. Bae want sleep." She panted happily, her pussy filled with Vegito's seed. Vegito smiled, kissing her forehead gently. Bae fell asleep with a smile on her face. "Good night, Bae," he thought, pulling out of her and letting her rest on the bed with Bulma and Chi-Chi. What a day. Chapter 3. Vegito got up early. He was currently in his farming clothes to help sort out the radish farm before training, but in a way, this was training, learning to control his flight and SP. The farm tools for strength and the amount of seeds to plant and produce to get out was for endurance. It did not take long, but soon the work was done, but it was the little things that helped. He smiled and took back the produce on his shoulders, back to Bulma's home. He entered the gravity chamber, upping the gravity to 300 times Earth's gravity, and didn't even feel any pressure. Might have to up the ante, he thought. He sighed, doubling the gravity. Vegito felt the force of 600 times Earth's gravity and nodded. "This'll do." He widened his stance, laser drones shooting at him as he dodged. Forming a simple workout, he began to jump and escape the sight of the drones and tap their "I got you" buttons. in order to dodge and lessen the attacks on him. And once all the buttons were pressed, the probes deactivated. Dang, the probes were a bit sluggish. Guess they couldn't handle the extra gravity. He commented and picked one of them up. I hope Bulma can make it up to 1,000 gravity. As he said that, he upped the gravity and began to train, and he felt the full force on 1,000 times Earth's gravity. His entire body felt like he was on King Kai's planet, but much heavier. And even that wasn't too much of a strain anymore, and I might cause this place to collapse in on itself. Vegito thought as he started his training. He sighed, going through a normal workout. Guess being the strongest isn't what it's all cracked up to be. Vegito thought there was no way to train much. But how strong was he? He honestly didn't know. He was the fusion of two of the greatest fighters on Earth, perhaps the galaxy, and he was unsure of his limit. Maybe he needed to get an expert's advice? Maybe King Kai? Or just go near space and yell his brains out as he powers up as far as he could? Yeah, I'll go with option 2. He commented and turned off the gravity. It did sound what he'd normally do now. Hopefully, this won't destroy Earth. He whispered and rocketed up into the air. Into space. He was just before the edge of the stratosphere and took a deep breath. In half a second he had turned Super Saiyan, his hair turned golden and became slightly spiky, his eye green and a blazing gold aura around him. Okay, Super Saiyan 1, let's take it up a notch. He spoke after giving a quick examination of himself. He took another deep breath and began to power up. The aura exploded a bit, growing quickly and powerful so it looked like a massive golden flame. Blue electricity began to spark around him, growing larger and more intense, and his body began to fan out a bit, becoming more jagged and wild with a bang over his right eye. His eyes brightened into a light teal. His hair becoming a slightly brighter shade, muscles growing lightly on the planet of the Kai's ohh. Aha! A monkey okayed as it was running around in shock. W. What power? King Kai gasped/yelled King Kai. Can you feel that? Kibito Kai, a Supreme Kai who had light purple skin, long white hair, and was wearing a long-sleeved light blue shirt and trousers under a red with accented GI. Vegito. He is growing stronger and stronger. King Kai gasped. He's testing his strength. I hope he's off-world. Kibito Kai spoke. I hope so too. Otherwise he'll do what Goku did, going Super Saiyan 3. Oh no. Why did I say that? King Kai commented, then immediately chastised himself for saying such a with Vegito. Vegito roared. The sky shaking as his aura grew and crackled, with flashing from normal to a bright radiant glow, with his hair growing gradually. He continued to power up and radiated enough energy around him. Star. At least, that's what the people of Earth were thinking down below. His whole body continued to gain strength and his hair lengthened almost halfway down his back. This was a whole other level of power, though it was a level of transformation half of Vegito had done before. His eyebrows recessed into his body, his eyes turned a darker green, his body becoming slightly bulkier, and the electricity increasing in intensity. Down on Earth, people were gathering in the streets. It was about 3 in the morning and the sun was already out, or at least, the thought it was the sun. It was so bright people couldn't shut eye from the sheer radiance. But those could sense ki. They had their own problems. GAH. Vegito. Master Roshi called out from Kame House, do you know what time it is, you lunkhead? Elsewhere. ARGH. Krillin grabbed his head, feeling a massive headache. Krillin. What's happening? Android 18 asked as she held her husband, the Vegito, his power. Krillin answered in a canyon. AH. What is that idiot doing? If he goes Super Saiyan 3, this world will blow up with that level of power. Piccolo snapped at Vegito's home. D. Dad? What are you doing? Gohan gasped. W. Wow. S. So much power. Trunks gasped. D. Dad? Goten gasped back, with Vegito out of Vegito roared, and inside his mind's eye he saw the universe fracturing into a dimension of fractured crystals, then Rev Greato Ozaru beating its chest and roaring at the moon before shrinking down into Vegito and then into a younger Vegito and then into a child then into a baby surrounded by L, which illuminated the darkness. Outside his mind's eye Vegito's hair was all the way down to his waist, his body was sparking medium-sized bolts of electric plasma surrounding him. He panted as his power-up ended, his energy sparking around him so much power, it's incredible. He spoke slowly and then began to receive a telepathic communication from King Kai. Vegito, you ignoramus. What in the multiverse are you doing? King Kai shouted, seeing how strong I am. Vegito said simply, and neither of my parents could have ever imagined being this powerful. That may be, but do you know how powerful you are radiating? King Kai snapped, no. That's why I was seeing how strong I was. He deadpanned, well, I'm glad you figured that out. But here's how strong it was, Kibito Kai, and I felt it all the way out here. King Kai snapped, wow. Well, I feel like I could have killed Buu's strongest form just by blowing at him like this. Vegito blinked, slowly shifting back to his normal forms. Just be glad that your power didn't attract any unwanted attention. King Kai patted his head with a towel. Meanwhile, deep in the universe, the power that Vegito radiated rocked a planet, a blue-skinned male looking to the sky. Well. It seems like the prophecy might be true after all. Well, I have 3 years to before I can find out. Back with Vegito, I'd better head back home. People are probably going to be mad at me for powering up. Vegito sighed. He instant transitioned back home, sighing as he returned to his base power. I'm gonna get an earful. He sighed, but only today, right now, he realized how powerful he was. And how nothing was equal to him anymore. Who's left to fight when you're the most powerful? He wondered. He sighed sadly at that. Waiting for whoever was going to bitch at him, and within a few minutes, Gohan, Goten and Trunks ran down from their rooms in a cold sweat. They saw their father and were in shock from the sheer absolute power he now possessed. A few seconds later, a bunch of his friends were flying towards him. Dad, that power. Gohan spoke before being interrupted. What the hell do you think you're doing, Vegito? Piccolo snarled. Simple. I was seeing how strong I am. Vegito nodded. It was like the whole world was going to blow up. Krillin added. Sorry. Vegito chuckled nervously. Vegito, I know you wanted to try your strength, but, holy dragons, boy. That was incredible. Master Roshi added. Yes. I know. Vegito frowned. Just one thing, Vegito. That early sunrise? Tien spoke. Yeah, that was me going Super Saiyan 3. He nodded. Doubt anything will ever need me to go that far. Ever. He said sadly. Thank Kami. The majority of them thought. Really? Can't you show us? Goten asked. Well. Yeah. I can show you. Vegito chuckled. And oh. The adults shouted. Aw, why not? Trunks and Goten frowned. It's too strong. Gohan frowned. Vegito gave an open hand gesture to say yep, he's right. Do you want to stay for breakfast? Vegito asked. Sorry, but 18 would kill me. Krillin said nervously, and kind of sadly. I understand. Say hi to her, for me. Vegito smiled. Yeah. Will do. Krillin answered and flew off. He smiled, a bit upset. He and Goku's oldest male friend were so uncomfortable around each other. Guess it's still a bit awkward due to this. He sighed, looking at his hands. Anyone else wanna stay? Well, I doubt there's reason for an old man to stay. Master Roshi answered. Roshi, you can visit whenever you want. Vegito nodded with a smile at one of his old mentor. As long as you don't perv on my wives. Roshi's out, bitches. Roshi called, running off. He never changes. They sighed. But they did smile a bit. See you later, Vegito. Yamcha and Tien gave a thumbs up and then left. Darn. Vegito sighed before turning to Piccolo. You gonna stay, Big Green? Sure. Just as long as you don't fight me. I wouldn't last a second. Piccolo answered. I really need to up my training. He sighed. You'll get stronger. I'm sure of it. Vegito answered. I hope, he thought sadly. Chapter 4, Gohan sighed as he walked out of his class a month later, the bell for lunch still ringing. Man, that lesson was boring. He sighed as he walked outside the building to the field. And began to unpack an insane amount of food. He smiled as he bit into his first sandwich, and yes, there were a lot of sandwiches. Hi Gohan. Videl spoke as she spoke behind him. My hey Videl. He said with his mouth full, sure you've got enough food in there? She giggled. Yap. He nodded with an awkward chuckle. She slipped down and sat next to her boyfriend. Mind if I have some? She lightly joked. Sure. He gulped. Sorry that there's a lot, big stomach and all. Gohan. Out of all the crazy things in our life, a boy eating mountain of food is the most normal. Videl chuckled, but a mountain 3 times his size? Erasa teased as she sat down. Never underestimate the vastness of a man's stomach. Videl laughed. Hey Erasa. The two hugged, Gohan eating more or less, ignoring the world around him. So how are things going? Videl asked her friend. Good. Sharpner is acting like a bigger and bigger asshole though. The blonde frowned. Yeah, he could be taken down a few pegs. Videl agreed and looked at Gohan, then took the look back. And why? His mouth was so full of food it looked like he couldn't close it properly. And then he did and seemingly swallowed it all down easy without chewing. Where does he fit it all? Videl wondered. I know he's a scion, but he must be part snake or something. How? Erasa blinked. Gohan asked as he swallowed another mouthful. I'm sorry. How do you eat that all? I kinda get it from my dad. Gohan chuckled lightly. Understatement. Videl rolled her eyes. So, what's the occasion? You sitting with us? I mean Erasa. Gohan asked. What, I can't be with my friends? She pouted. And no, of course you can. It's just, you're spending a bit more time than usual. That's all. Gohan answered awkwardly. What do you mean? Oh. You two want alone time for making out. Erasa nodded. Both Videl and Gohan froze at that and blushed. No. Videl quickly stuttered. Come on. The 3 of us know that's what you're thinking right now. Erasa teased. Because you put the thought there. Gohan frowned. Erasa just smiled and laughed at that with Goten and Trunks Fu, Shaun. Ha! The 2 boys continued to practice with their father by fusing together to get stronger. Or at least tried to, as, at the last second, Vegito shot a ki blast at them, forcing them apart. Awand, you're dead. Vegito frowned. That's enough for today. Dang it, Dad. Trunks sighed. Guess we can try again tomorrow. Goten added. You two rely too much on fusion. Vegito frowned. But we're much stronger as Gotenks. Trunks answered. But it's only temporary. 30 minutes for regular selves and even less when you go Super Saiyan. Vegito answered. And Super Saiyan 3? You only get 5 minutes. The boys frowned. They knew they had to get stronger, but they were getting too comfortable using fusion. They knew they have to learn to get stronger by themselves. What do you want us to do, Dad? Trunks asked. Relax. Go out and have fun. Vegito smiled. Goten and Trunks smiled and hugged him. Thanks, Dad, and ran off to play outside. Well. Into town, as he never said they couldn't. Did I just give them free rein to go into town? He slowly realized. He sighed, shrugging. Oh well. He walked outside and saw Chi-Chi, Bulma, and Big sitting on the grass enjoying the sun. Ladies. He smiled at them. Hey honey / Vegito, the 3 spoke simultaneously. They cheering her bit. The kids are all away. He smiled. Really? Goten and Trunks are out? Chi-Chi asked. Yep. Vegito smiled at that. We've got the house to ourselves. Good. Bulma smiled. We have playtime now? Bay asked happily. You've become addicted to that, haven't you? Vegito chuckled. Aha. Bay is Vegito addict. Bay hugged him. She's not the only one. Bulma flirted. Oh really? Didn't you have enough last time? Vegito smiled. Never enough. Chi-Chi smiled. Well, shall we take this inside? Or, on the flowers? He smiled, don't want dirt up my ass. Bulma shrugged, the other girls agreeing inside it is. Vegito smiled in more ways than one. With Goten and Trunks were laughing as they can through Satan City. Until Goten bumped into a girl their age. Oof. Oh, sorry. Goten apologized. And no, it's okay. The girl smiled. She had shoulder-length brown hair and brown eyes, Caucasian skin and a yellow dress and clip shoes. She also had expensive-looking wrist but other such stuff. Miss Valise, are you hurt? A man spoke looking for her. No Alfred, I'm fine. The girl smiled. Pretty. Goten whispered, I'm so sorry for my half-brother. Trunks said, bowing quickly, it's okay. The girl answered, with a small blush from Goten's whispered comment, say sorry man. Trunks hissed, oh, I am sorry Mississippi. Goten bowed and tried to be as clear as possible. It's okay. The now named Valise giggled, come now Ms. Valise. You're due at your lessons. The butler spoke okay. Bye. Valise answered and waved to the two boys. What lesson? Trunks muttered pretty. Goten repeated as Valise and her butler walked off. Air. Goten? Trunks blinked, shaking him lightly. BW. Did you call us half-brothers? Goten asked after shaking his head yes. We have the same dad, different mothers. Trunks rolled his eyes. And this was technically him even though their fused dad used to be two people. Goten smiled and hugged Trunks. Thanks, bro. He answered kindly and honestly. Trunks smiled, patting his back. Before he smirked, Goten's got a girlfriend. He suddenly sang teasingly, I do not. Goten blushed and snapped back, Goten has a girlfriend. Goten has a girlfriend. Trunks sang. Running off teasing, I'm gonna get you Trunks. Goten chased his now half-brother with Gohan. Gohan was currently sitting through his next lecture. He found it boring since he had read about current events and had already gotten a head start on the subject. Heck, he learned about it when he was 9. Mr. Gohan. Can you tell me about the subject? The teacher asked. Sure? Gohan answered and began to list off several parts that the lecture hadn't even covered. The class were amazed at his knowledge. Like always, Videl smiled and giggled, this was her boyfriend. Strong, smart and humble. But she paid attention once more as the class continued. Gohan sighed, leaning back. And freezing as he felt someone squeeze his upper thigh. And it wasn't Videl, as she was sitting on his left. Oh, nuts. He thought and saw Ereza sitting to his right. Yep. He squeaked, thought he saw her manicured hand give his thigh one last squeeze before it pulled away, the blonde giving him her normally happy grin for a second. Oh, snap, this is gonna get awkward. He thought in slight fear. After class, Gohan sighed, walking out of class with Videl holding his hand. Gohan? Are you alright? You've been quiet after your speech. Videl asked. I'm fine. He smiled. Okay, want to walk me home? She asked kindly. You sure you don't want to fly? He smiled. That'd be too short. I want to enjoy it. Videl answered. Okay. He smiled, chuckling. Also, I was thinking about something nice. Videl smiled. Nice? He asked. Well, about your parents. Your dad with 2 wives and a lover. Videl answered. Yeah? He asked. Well, it got me thinking, what if we did the same? Videl answered. You mean sex? Well, yeah. She blushed happily. I guess. He blushed. If you want. Great. I mean, thank you. She kissed him. Gohan blushed and kissed back. At the house, here we are. Gohan smiled as they arrived at the mansion that was Videl's home. Want to come in? She asked. But, what about your dad? Gohan asked. My dad's off training for the next martial arts tournament. We'll be alone for a few hours. She answered. Gohan gulped and nodded. Videl leading him inside. Inside were fancy and expensive items. Guess all his boasting about protecting the earth and beating Majin Buu paid off. And Gohan had to suppress his anger. It was more an annoyed anger than enraged anger. but also insulted anger. There was a lot of anger there. Gohan, want to come up? Videl asked kindly. Please. As Gohan went upstairs, Videl was nervous. This would be their first time together, and it was exciting but anxiety-driven. Here we are. She whispered, blushing. Wow, your bedroom looks nice. Gohan answered, seeing her room, thank you. Videl blushed as they entered the plain yet fancy bedroom. So, what should we do? I mean, air. Gohan blushed, thinking of just kissing. Videl blushed and kissed him as confirmation, taking off his blazer while slowly unbuttoning his shirt. She always has soft lips. He thought as he took off her top, well, her baggy white other top. Next he was filling with her tight pink top, the two breaking the kiss once more as he removed it. You're really beautiful, Videl. Gohan answered honestly, looking at Videl's blushing face. Thank you. She nodded, pulling his shirt off. As she did, she saw his training and battle-hardened body. He was much more muscular than what his clothes showed. He looked like a geek on top, but he was an Adonis. Sunday, why don't you dress in better clothes? She couldn't help but ask. Running her fingers over his abs, well, I like these clothes. Plus, if I wear anything that'll hug these muscles, I'll keep ripping them. He blushed. You don't rip your GI or your Great Saiyaman undersuit. She argued, well yeah, but those are baggy. And they're made of special materials. Gohan answered, I could probably make some or order some. Videl nodded, kissing him. So, what do you want me to do? He asked kindly. Just do what comes natural. Okay. He answered and kissed her gently and began to caress her body. Videl moaned, relaxing. Just do what's natural. He thought as he slid off her bra, revealing her bosom. He blushed, rubbing the B-cups lightly. Videl moaned lightly, letting Gohan fondle her breasts. She felt her nethers becoming moist. She wanted to make love to Gohan, become one with him. She wanted him so bad. Gohan pulled back and began to trace down her body. Down to her pussy, and he felt how wet it was. Videl, you're wet. He gasped as he unintentionally teased it with his F. Videl moaned, loving the feeling even through her tight pants. If you're wet this much from your panties. Gohan whispered and pushed them aside to get a full feel of her pussy. Videl moaned, her hands falling to his hair. Dang, Videl. He laughed. I guess I'm doing something right. Yes. So good. She moaned her moans. Gohan thought as his member was pitching a tent under his underwear. The sounds his girlfriend was making him aroused. Videl reached her foot up a bit, rubbing his cock through his underwear as he ate her out. You're so sweet. Salty, it's good. He thought as he was being serviced by his girlfriend's foot. The two moaned deeply, actually coming at the same time. Videl. Gohan moaned as he sprayed her foot with his seed. Gohan! She screamed, coming on his face. Gohan felt Videl's pussy juice on his face, the taste of it made him hard again. I want more. He smiled, lightly pushing her onto her bed. Gohan. She blushed and smiled, seeing him over her. I'll give you more. He nodded, rubbing his cock against her pussy. It'll hurt for a little bit. Gohan gulped. I know. She smiled, but what about protection? He asked. I spoke to your mothers. Apparently unless a Saiyan comes inside there is zero chance of a baby. And since you're a half Saiyan there is only a 25% chance of you pregnant if you do come inside. She smiled shyly, sounds like a lottery. Gohan gulped, and I'm feeling lucky. She grinned. Okay, it's gonna hurt. Gohan spoke as he prodded against her vagina. We already went through this and I know. She smiled. Okay. Gohan nodded and pushed inside of Videl's pussy, stretching it out and breaking her hymen with a single thrust. The two gasped and moaned. Videl. Why, you're tight. He moaned as Videl's hymen bled. Don't stop there. She smiled and panted. Get all the way in and start bucking like a bronco. Gohan smiled and began to do just that. His hips going faster and faster. Hitting her uterus, all the way deep into her womb. The two moaned, holding each other close as they enjoyed the other's body. Gohan. I am going to come. She moaned. Me too. He gasped. Gohan. She called out in ecstasy as she held onto him tightly. Videl. He moaned, coming at the same time, and with a final thrust, Gohan came into Videl's pussy. The pair didn't realize this until they had calmed down, and by then, Videl's pussy was filled with cum. Videl smiled, kissing him weakly. That was wonderful. Gohan panted lightly. It was. She muttered, nodding. I came in you, didn't I? Gohan asked, maybe a bit. She chuckled, sorry, but you were just too good. Gohan admitted it felt good. She smiled. Gohan kissed her tenderly as he slid out of her pussy slowly. A small dribble of cum followed the cock, showing how deep he poured most of it. I love you, Gohan. Videl smiled. I love you too, Videl. Gohan responded. Marry me. The two said as one yes. Wait, stop. Videl and Gohan continued to speak simultaneously, before they laughed together at Vegito's home. Vegito sighed happily, holding his three lovers close. Each of them were sweating and out of breath, their pussies filled with his seed. And Vegito looked like he had just gone for a small jog. God, how much stamina do you have? Bulma panted. No idea. He admitted. I bet we've enough cum for another baby. Chi-Chi purred happily, defiantly. Bulma smiled. Bae, have Vegito's baby? Bae asked, looking at them. Probably. The two human women nodded happily. Bae smiled happily and snuggled up to them. Vegito chuckled with a smile. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. If you want more, like this video, hit that notification bell, and maybe even give a comment on your thoughts on the video. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next part.
Damn you! Yeah, bastard! Now you've done it! It's been a while since I've used this form, but damn with it! I'm taking this bastard out now! I am a super elite!